coming up this week?
It wasn't even anything that we'd like pitched for like editorial, because obviously we didn't even know what that was. Even people in like when we were in school, you're coming up to you and being like, "Oh my gosh, your song's so good."
They all knew what age we were, so they just used to put like cans of Coke in our rider.
My image of it was that you were sort of crashing into these pubs that had open mic nights at 13.
No.
Personally, I was like, guys, we can't keep on playing this. Like,
Sometimes we went in with like a guitar and a dream.
Welcome back to the show. It's great to have you here. Our guests today, and yes, there are two of them, were teenagers when their first single, Other Side, was released in 2019. It amassed 3 million Spotify streams and was followed up by more indie bangers like Fake ID and I Don't Care. The band have been bubbling under ever since, supporting indie gods like Jesus and Mary Chain, performing at festivals like the Isle of Wight and Leeds, as well as their own tours and sell-out gigs in their hometown of Glasgow. They are destined for huge success, according to, well, me. The band is SPYRES. Here's a clip.
We're at a dead end, I don't find it funny. You said we were friends, but then you stole all my money. No matter how you try, you're never gonna make it up to me. Yeah.
Keira and Emily from SPYRES, welcome to the show.
thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much for coming on. I am, as you probably know, a massive fanboy of SPYRES. Actually, I can't say fanboy. Let's call me like old man fan of SPYRES. I saw you, I think it was about a year ago in London.
Yeah.
You played in Soho Lower Third, which it was a gig that I didn't know what to expect, but it really blew me away. It was amazing.
I think that was like quite a new venue and not really like a place we'd played before, like that kind of part of London.
It is new. I think they've had a lot more gigs on there kind of all through last year, but I think you were probably maybe one of the first. It's the first time I'd heard of it as well. So since then, massive fan. I am going to try and rein in my fandom so it's not too cringy for you. But if it does get too cringy, just shout and let me know. So the video looks great, Money. Where was that recorded?
It was filmed in Dundee, so I was going to uni there, and part of it is like filmed in my uni, and then part of it is filmed in was it Broughty Ferry, Emily?
I think
Which is
so.
like a town over from Dundee, but yeah, and then there's like a couple of sly shots in Glasgow because we never finished.
No one needs to know.
There's also a bit where you're actually in the water.
Yeah.
Like, how cold was it?
It was
It was
pretty
actually
cold.
freezing. That was the last shot of the day, obviously. But
Yeah, I can remember like once we filmed that, we went back to Danny, the guy that was filming it, he lives in Broughty Ferry. It's somewhere near Broughty Ferry, but we went back to his mum's house and she made us like a shepherd's pie. And we were like just like absolutely freezing.
Oh,
we only went up like to the knees. We didn't
I was like, that's
it's like suffering for your art, though, isn't it? You kind of have to do it. I want to go into to talk about Other Side and I want to try and take you back there because it just sounded amazing to me that you were teenagers, right? And you release a single on like a small indie label, and then it goes ballistic on Spotify. Were you aware of it happening, and how did it feel?
Not at all. Well, when we brought it out, it was like fully independent to start with, so we were just like school kids that had like no clue what was happening.
You were at school?
Yeah.
We were like
Wow.
in high school. But I mean, we've seen people around us like doing the same thing, so I don't know. I think we just tried to take a stab at it. So yeah, it worked. It worked out.
At what point did you find out that it had gone a bit ballistic?
It
To be
started
fair-
getting like a lot of Radio 1 play, to be fair. And then like Jack Saunders kind of picked it up. And this was when he was still doing like the nighttime, like late nights on the BBC Radio 1, like what's it called again? Like New Sounds or like something.
Yeah, it was like a lot of new music, but
Yeah.
it wasn't even anything that we'd like pitched for like editorial, because obviously we didn't even know what that was, and like
Yeah.
it obviously wasn't such a big thing back then as it is now, or I don't know, maybe we were just like
Naive.
too young, didn't even know yet. But we were just really lucky that a lot of it just quite happened like organically for us. So
And did it happen without you knowing?
I mean, I think we knew, like, even people in like when we were in school, people that had like never spoke to before, like people coming up to you and being like, "Oh my gosh, your song's so good."
Wow.
So like I think kind of like got a vibe, but it's nice to see, I guess, a wider reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. And were they sort of coming up to you treating you like celebs at school, going, "Can I have a selfie and stuff?"
Not really, not that. It
That will
wasn't
come,
bad.
don't worry.
So people in school probably thought I was quite weird.
And then after that, you're still at school. And then did you go and record some more songs and go, let's put some more stuff out there?
Yeah, we recorded Fake ID when we were still in school. Because that was like a known thing. So once we started getting like gigs in Glasgow, like better gigs, they all knew what age we were, so they just used to put like cans of Coke in our rider and like cans of Iron Brew and stuff. So yeah, that was quite rubbish for a while, but we done Fake ID because I was like, well, everybody knows, so
That's funny. So just going back to your roots about where you two met and how you said, is it true? And I did read this earlier,
Oh no.
that you were kind of 13, 14 doing open mic nights and that's how you met.
yeah.
Yeah.
What made you at that age go to open mic nights?
Well, I think both of us, since we were young, have always done like stage school stuff, and like we'd always like been on the stage from a young age. So I don't think that really like was a part of it. I think we'd just kind of grown up a bit, and both of us individually started like playing like acoustic, like just with our
Yeah.
guitars. And when we seen there, it's called like the Clutha Kids, which is like a part of like the Clutha Bar, and there was like a charity, and basically like every week you'd go to the Clutha and like sing a few songs. So there became like a wee kind of community there, and that's kind of how
Okay.
like we met, because we were singing like kind of similar kind of genres and stuff. So it only felt right to.
I think my image of it was that you were sort of crashing into these pubs that had open mic nights at 13
No.
and sort of getting that guitar and
Everyone
going,
else was round about 30.
Everybody else was like 13 or younger.
okay, all right, good.
We were one of the old people.
And also just about your writing, because you know I'm a big sort of indie guitar pop fan of music, and your songs are full of everything that they should be, right? Things full of hooks, full of melodies, full of bridges and harmonies and banging choruses and stuff. It sounds like it comes very easy to you to write that. Is that true?
I think together we kind of like bounce off each other a bit more. There's been times where like me and Emily have maybe like wrote like part of a song and then like took it to each other. But honestly, like I can't really remember the last time me and Emily haven't like wrote a song completely together, like from
Wow.
start to finish. It's been like that was kind of like in the earlier days. Our brains are like connected in a weird way.
So you never argue?
No,
Really?
Really? Wow.
No, we've never argued.
we're lucky enough to work with like one of our producers, Johnny. He will like help us co-write songs, so maybe he's like the mediator.
I know.
Maybe we probably argue with him more than each other.
I know.
Okay.
I think maybe we do.
So let's go on to your tracks. How did you find, because normally it's one person choosing 5 tracks.
Yeah.
How did you find, did you argue over the tracks you wanted, or were you
No,
agreeable?
we had like too many to choose from. Yeah,
But,
so these are like the core 5.
I know we were
Okay.
like we had songs that we really liked like together, and we were like, right, so what about this one? What can we say that we just like it? Like,
No, it's like, love this song. That's it.
love this song. No words.
Because when I was first thinking about the idea for this podcast, it was like your top 5 tracks. And I thought I'd test it on me, and I couldn't come up with my top 5 tracks because it's so like
I know there's
broad
too
and
many.
big, it's impossible. So then you go significant tracks, and then you sort of hone it down to what's the then story behind why is it significant and
Yeah,
stuff. So it makes it
yeah.
a little bit easier, I think.
I think like the tracks that we picked, like I think I could probably pick another 5 songs that I think influenced me personally and like how I would maybe approach writing or my life or whatever. But I think these ones that we've done like stand for the both of us like together, like experiences we've had together. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into them, shall we?
Cool, yep.
Let's do the first one, which is Wolf Alice.
Forget our mothers and post lovers, forget everyone. Oh, I'm so lucky.
So this was from their first album, My Love Is Cool, released as the second single in 2015. It's 11 years old. That's unbelievable. Ellie from the band says, it's an ode to childhood imagination and friendship and all the charm that comes with that. Why did you pick this track?
I think Will Fallis are like, I mean, both of us will say they're like our gods.
Yeah.
We love
Yeah,
them so much.
100%.
And I think that song especially is like, I don't know, there's just something about it.
I know. I think me and Emily kind of sing that song to like each other a bit. And
Yeah,
then
I
when
think
we
because
were,
it's all about like friendship and all that, it's cute.
yeah, so we used to cover that as well, like
Oh, did you?
back in the day.
Yeah, when it was just us two. There's a
Yeah.
video on
Okay.
YouTube somewhere.
There'll be a video on YouTube of us singing every single song ever.
Yeah.
Apparently, this was they reworked this for the album. I haven't heard the original, but the original was like a couple of years old before this. Have you
I
heard it?
believe I've heard, if it is, I don't know, like I heard that version of it, or they play a version of it in my work, and it's got no lyrics in the chorus.
Oh,
And I always
right.
think, why is this got no lyrics in the chorus? But now that you've said that, it could be that, and it kind of makes
It
sense.
might be the original one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, it's a song that kind of bonds you two together.
yeah.
That's what I read into that.
It
Yeah.
reminds me of like when we were just like growing up in like the early days as well. And then we've seen them perform. Well, actually, we've seen them a couple of times, but the
Yeah.
last time we've seen them, it was like emotional.
Yeah, I was crying.
Why?
I don't know. I cried like 5 times. I just love them.
Did you
There
see
was
the-
like, it was like songs that I don't even really think, like there were some songs I played and I'm like, oh, I love this song, and then there were songs that like I'm like, yeah, like this is a brilliant song, and it was just like pure set me off. Like it wasn't even my favourite ones. It's really emotional.
Was this on their recent big stadium tour?
Yeah, and do you know what? Actually, see during Bros, they like put a video on the screen of like them, like
Oh, when they
years
were
ago.
younger. Yeah.
Uh-huh, and I was like, oh my god, Emily, that's us.
You
like,
fast
why is
forward
that
in,
us?
yeah, fast forward 5 years. Spires were in the stadium doing the O2, and there's little videos of you two up there. Amazing. Okay, let's do your second track, which is Decepticon by Le Tigre. I just love that clip of them dancing on stage.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. So, am I right? And I'm sure I am because my memory's not that bad. Is that you covered this last year in London?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
I thought so. And why this track?
I don't know. I can't even remember when, like, how we found it, but I think like as soon as we heard it, we were like, "Oh my god,
Wow. Yeah.
we have to cover this!" And literally, we've covered it from like again,
Beginning
like
time of
beginning of the
Spires
band.
support.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like for a while, that was like our last song of the set, or like if ever anyone shouted for an encore, we'd like come
Yeah.
back
That would
on
be
and
it.
do that. And then personally, I was like, guys, we can't keep on playing this. Like, it's died a
Why?
death. We can't. I don't know.
Sorry for the interruption. If you have a story relating to a top track, then you could be featured in the show. Just fill out the form in our bio and we may be in touch. Also, if you're enjoying the conversation so far, then don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have a friend that might enjoy it, why not share it with them too? Now back to the show.
We
I,
just
I totally disagree from Emily. I think we should record it and release it.
But like, I think looking back, I think it is just very iconic moment.
Yeah, I think for us, like, I can remember when we played St. Luke's in Glasgow, someone brought a sign, like a cardboard sign that said Decepticon ? And like held it up at our gig because they just wanted us to play the song. And I was
How
like,
does that?
the people love it, like.
Yeah, Glasgow people especially love it.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a banging tune. Apparently, it was written as a sort of response to the Spice Girls making really bland lyrics, and so they sort of came out with this even blander lyric, but in a sort of punk riot girl kind of way, and they were really
Yeah.
sort of
the
wanting
lyrics
to
are
address
so
that.
weird.
Yeah. I think that's the
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
But it's
And,
very-
so, will you still be doing it as an encore? Or,
I mean, I
'cause
don't
it
think it'll
it is
ever
a
go
banger.
away.
Oh,
I
okay,
don't
good,
think
all
we'll
right.
ever stop playing it.
Yeah.
And do you do other covers in your set? 'Cause I haven't heard you do another cover, I don't think.
No, usually we just do like one at the end or something. So it was that, and then for a while we moved on to Give Me Back My Man by the B-52s, and now we've
Okay.
kind of come back to this.
Went back to Decepticon again because it just wasn't hitting as hard.
I think it's just because it is such like a like crazy song, everyone just goes
Yeah.
mad.
It's so funny as well. Like every single time we play it, like we'll get an encore or something, and we'll be like, "Fuck, we've got no songs to play." We're like, Decepticon, and like we've not played it for like months.
Chords, no way.
And we're like pure like all the wrong chords, but it sounds fine.
Yeah, you can just like shout and play like bum
Yeah.
noises. I really
But also, isn't that part of it? Because it's quite a punk track, so it's meant to be a little bit like
I
random.
think
and a
it's
bit,
like so noisy that you don't even really notice. It doesn't really matter.
but also hugely recognisable. Like when you played it, I was like, wait a minute, I know this song. I have no idea where I know it from, but it's
yeah,
just,
everyone somehow like knows.
yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can't remember where I heard it first, but it's instantly recognizable. So
Yeah.
And you mentioned like the B-52s. Where are you getting your like these are bands in my era? Where are you getting your influences from?
I mean, I think we've all been lucky enough to grow up with like good music around our houses as well. Like when I was younger, it was like Susie and the Banshees, The Cure, and like bands like B-52s, things like that. So
Well, from like your parents.
yeah, from our parents.
Okay.
And even just like I don't know, I think we have quite varied music tastes among the four of us anyway. So we're always finding like new music, old music. So yeah, we're pretty open.
Let's move on to your next track.
Cool.
We used to be friends, the Dandy Warhols. So this is their lead single from their fourth studio album, Welcome to the Monkey House, 2003. It was also the theme tune to Veronica Mars. I don't know if you knew that. So why this tune?
This song
For me, this is one of the songs that were just like great song. But do you know what, Emily? I was thinking about it today, and do you know what this kind of like reminds me of? Peak like Priory after show party.
Yeah, you know, I was actually thinking we done like a DJ set or something, and I just
That's
well,
exactly what I was
I think, like,
thinking.
any DJ set that we done would always play this too,
Yeah.
or like it's always on in like the van when we're on tour, and like yeah, we just love
There
it.
used to be this pub in Glasgow called the Priory, and like just every single person in a band and anybody that liked bands would hang about there. So like after any gig, like I'm pretty sure Wolf Alice done like a after show party DJ set in there. Like every band's
Wow.
been through it, and I just can remember like whenever we would do like DJ sets in there, like that was just like one of our go-to songs. Like yes,
Yeah. Is it? I get the impression that there's a very thriving sort of music scene in Glasgow
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is.
with lots of bands.
Yep.
yeah.
And
I think
that's
one of the songs that we've put in this, I think it's either the next one or the one after. I can't remember, but like when we started doing it, there was like it was more like kind of punk bands. So there was like loads of bands like that, and then after COVID, like we were one of the last bands I think to kind of like be part of that scene before COVID, and then since COVID, like a lot of them have kind of just what happens, like a lot of them have kind of gave up or like it's just not worked out for them. But now there's like a new kind of like fresher, like a lot, it's just new bands coming through, but it's not as like punky as it used to be. And the Priory isn't there anymore, so it's like a totally new scene, but it's still kind of like up that street way, if that makes sense.
Do
We
you
all
have a
kind
lot
of
of?
hang about in that area.
Is there a lot of? You know, how you said you were going to these places at 13 and sort of doing open mic nights. Is there a lot of that in Glasgow?
yeah. There's so many opportunities for like young
Okay.
people to like I guess start out in like even though we done the Clutha, we done like King Tut's downstairs had like an open mic
We
night.
played the Barras.
Yeah, we played the battle. We played the battle.
Before we were a band as a four, we played the Barras
Yeah.
separately, me and Emily.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then
really?
together,
Yeah.
and then as a band. But yeah, there's loads of different places you can go from like a young age to kind of get a start in the kind of music scene, and then I mean, there's loads of like festivals happening nowadays and like all dares and hundreds of venues still too. So we're very
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah, this week my other guests was a guy called Mark David, who runs the Music Venue Trust, which is a charity that's trying to push for bands who do arenas and stuff to donate £1 of their ticket sales to grassroots. And he was saying that venues in England are closing down, like this last year closed down massively, and so there's real like a lack of opportunity for bands to kind of just learn their trade about doing live stuff. So, but it doesn't sound like that in Glasgow. It sounds like the place to be.
Yeah, I think like a couple of pubs kind of did. A couple of places did shut down. I think what it is with Glasgow that is like the venue thing, and what maybe makes it. I'm maybe going off on a tangent here, but there's like no like middle kind of thing. It's like you do the O2 Academy, and then the next venue up for us to play would be the Hydro, which is like an arena. So it's like not that we'd be playing the O2 Academy ourselves, but like there's like quite a big jump. So
Yes.
there's like quite a lot of small venues, which is really good for when you're starting out. But like once you start progressing, like you can, I know, like we know people that have played the Barrowlands 3 nights in a row because there's nothing else for them. There's not a bigger venue that
Wow.
would capacitate. Like
Yeah. Let's move on to your next track. This is my new favourite track. I absolutely love it. I've never heard of the group before either. This is Deleter by Group Love. So it sort of reminds me a little bit of your tracks as well, like in the amount of kind of stuff that's going on and the melodies and the hooks is brilliant. So this is from their 2002 album Healer, 2020 album Healer. Frontman Christian Zucconi explained that the song is about questioning institutional systems and authority figures during wild times. That was 6 years ago, and nothing seems to have changed. Why this song?
when we went into the studio to do like our last EP, our producer Chris, he's like so good at like picking out songs. So we had like the thing sitting there, and like we'd written basically the melody. I think we actually recorded it, and then we didn't really like the vibe that it was, and then he like showed us that track, and he was like, right, let's just take this vibe and like apply it to the thing, and then that's kind of how the thing came about the way it did.
Yeah, you can hear that.
He's so good at like
He picks these like
picking
really
songs.
random niche songs, but they're like so good. I was like, that's such a rogue song, like 2020. I don't know.
I know he's just
Yeah.
like, oh, I remember this band from about like 16 years ago, and it's really this song is really reminding me of it. Let me just get it up, and then he puts it on. It's like
It's
the
the
best,
best
thing.
song ever.
I know, and I'm like, where's what?
You sort of wonder why you've never heard of it. Why have I never heard of Group Love before? It sounds brilliant to me.
You do know Group
Yeah,
Love.
yeah. Their biggest song is really popular.
Oh, okay.
Tongue Tied.
I've
I
heard
think
it.
you've heard it before.
I'm going to go and play it after this and go, oh yeah, I do know.
Yeah.
It. How is it when you get into the studio and I presume you go to the same one in Glasgow every time? Yeah. How does it work? Do you go in there with a demo and just record it, or do you kind of work it out in the studio?
We've done it both ways. Yeah.
Sometimes I think more recently, when we write the songs like with Johnny, he'll kind of like make a demo with it, so then we can kind of take it to the studio. But I mean, yeah, sometimes we have just went in with like.
Sometimes we went in with like a guitar and a dream. Honestly.
Which one do you prefer?
I mean, the guitar and the dream gets our heads like thinking.
We write lyrics like 5 minutes before we go in to record them. Sometimes.
No, you don't. What?
Like
how?
Like all of them? No.
Money, the thing. I think honestly,
usually like 80% of the song's done. There's only like a couple lines or like a bridge that needs written, but I feel like when there's like a vibe in the studio, it kind of comes out a lot easier.
see when we recorded Dear Diary, I think that is like the only song the only EP or like chunk of music that we've went in and been like, okay, here's 4 songs that we're going to record and this is them completely done. Whereas like every other time we've went in and we've been like, so like we've wrote like a verse.
That's it. That's all I've got.
So, yeah.
But is it more rewarding then when you go in with like very little and you come out with something like a complete song? I imagine that's quite kind of satisfying
Yeah, it is.
from a creative point of view.
Yeah, I think we sometimes we thrive on just like making it up on the spot.
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Pressure.
sometimes it is so much better when you go in and it's like, right, okay, I know what we're doing today. Because like a lot of the time it'll get to vocals and it'll be quite late. And me and Emily will want to start like messing about with like harmonies and doing like weird vocal stacks. And there's like not really a lot of time for us to put it together because we don't really know like what to do because the song's
Yeah.
just finished. So we have to go back and do it again, which is fine. But it's like, if we were prepared, this would not be an issue.
You got
What
to tell
is,
people we're always prepared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
edit that out.
for you got one each here. Which is your favourite Spires song?
Ooh.
Emily's going to say The Thing.
Yeah, maybe The Thing, or I like Plain Test, or I like I don't know. There's a lot.
Okay,
Oh,
Keira.
I don't know. I'm forgetting all the songs now. Do you know what? I really like Lost Without You.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love that one as well.
That was one song that we came in with a full song. But then again, that was another song that Marshall played us like Third Eye Blind, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And was like, we're going to make this into like a early 2000s pop punk
Yes.
song. And then that's kind of like what it became. So, yeah.
It's very. I mean, he obviously a great producer that he can. Because I when I used to manage bands, you go in and say I want it to sound like this, and they wouldn't be able to do it. They couldn't create that sound. So he's obviously a very talented producer, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Let's do your final song. This is Friend, Baby Strange.
Get back to my friend. I never want to see you around here again. Sing, oh.
So released in 2013. I didn't know this band. They're a Glaswegian band. I'm guessing you have a connection to them.
Yeah.
I guess.
So that's Johnny, our co-producer.
I worked that out actually. Yeah, I get that.
But they were like, for us, so before we started working with Johnny, we loved Baby Strange. They were like, honestly, they're one of the best bands like ever, I think. And like that was just our introduction to the kind of Glasgow punk scene at that time.
Yeah, it sounds so kind of early 80s post-punk stuff.
Yeah.
They I don't know if that was what they're going for, but they certainly sort of have achieved
were
it if
so
that's what
cool.
they want.
I
Yeah.
think it was just like something that I mean, obviously because we were very young, we could only kind of start going out to gigs like by ourselves when we were like 14, 15 anyway. But seeing like Baby Strange, you know, the other kind of bands, kind of making a name for themselves in Glasgow was like, oh my God, I want to do this.
I know, literally, and it was like Chris that recorded all of their stuff as well. So we were like, oh, like Chris's recordings, like they sound amazing, and we want to like. I think that's kind of like how Other Sides, like after Other Side, I feel like her music and maybe Fake ID, we kind of went a bit like on our own path. But I think the first two were like very, I don't know, like 2018 Glasgow bands. If
Right.
that could be a category, that would be what it sounds like.
Genre.
Yeah, like
There were
honestly.
so many, like there were genuinely so many of them. But Baby Strange just always stuck out to us.
Yeah.
Are they still going, Baby Strange?
No.
Is he just he's just producing?
Yeah, he does he plays like bass for loads of.
Yeah, Johnny. Yeah, he plays bass like for quite a few people, like Callum Beattie and stuff. I don't know if you know him. He's like a kind of big Scottish
Okay.
indie kind of poppy guy here, but
Okay.
he plays for him, and then Yeah, he just kind of like does co-producing and stuff now, but he's really good.
Those are your 5 tracks.
Yeah.
Spires, Emily and Keira, thank you so much for coming on. Tell us, just to round off, what is in store for you 2026?
Well, I know this is probably going to get posted after, but we're going on tour in Germany.
Is it
Yeah.
next week? Yeah, we'll
Well,
miss
next
that,
Sunday we
sorry.
leave.
Very excited. Have you
Um,
been to Germany before?
Not
No.
together.
Well, were you going to tell me you were 13 and you went on tour individually?
No,
No.
like not
there.
as like a band.
Oh, okay.
We've been to Germany before, but not like to play.
Yes. When you ask for a beer in Germany, you come out, you think you're getting a pint, and it's like a glass sort of this
I
big.
know.
It's absolutely, you get bladdered on about 2 pints.
Alex,
It's horrible.
we need to
I mean, it's great.
keep an eye on Alex.
It's-
Last
it's
time
the-
we went away to Budapest, he broke his finger.
What, drinking?
Well, after
After
drinking.
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 Getting
Oh.
home for drinking.
Could he play after that?
Nope.
He was out the game for a couple of weeks.
For one gig, he couldn't, but then he was back. And it's
came
like now permanently like this.
No way.
But he plays still. So
Wow.
he's fine.
When's your next release? Any more new music coming out this year?
Yeah, we've
There's
got some
definitely new
stuff coming
music.
out, yeah.
But you'll have to wait and find out when it comes out.
Oh, Emily, come on. I was after an exclusive.
We don't know.
You're both
Well, there's
keeping very
definitely
quiet.
music there. It's just
Yeah. There, don't worry.
it's just
Okay.
loading.
And when are you going to be gigging in the south again? Do you know?
Well, we're playing Why Not Festival, but I think
Yeah.
it's sold out.
Where is what? I don't know where Why Not
I
is.
think it's near kind of Sheffield way.
I was thinking further south than that, Emily, to near where I am, but okay.
Oh.
Um,
There will be something.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
something will
At
come
the
up.
early part of the year, there's always something happening.
Yeah.
All right, good. And I will be there, and the beers are on me when I arrive. Oh, sorry, hang on.
You're fine.
Do you know, that was a doorbell. That's our takeaway.
Oh,
It's just right.
What you getting?
I thought I think I've got some like Thai food and some right thing.
oh, yum.
Yum,
I know.
I want that.
Okay, we're good.
I mean, it's
Well, no, I need to round it off now. Keira and Emily, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a real pleasure to have you. Best of luck for this year, and I really look forward to your new music coming out.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That was Emily and Keira from the band SPYRES.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. And if you want to be on the show, fill out the form in our bio. See you next time.